So welcome to Roll and Release. Tonight we will have about a 50-minute practice with a nice restful Shavasana at the end. Let's take a moment to just center and become present in this moment in our practice by finding any comfortable seat. Since this is a rolling class, you may find yourself sitting in an easy pose. But if these are the only props you have around, and you know that your legs tend to be more up than they are coming down, then you can sit up on that roll, and it will just help with the additional support you need for comfortable floor sitting or dock sitting, as the case may be. And as we come to this comfortable seat, I'll invite you to do one of two things. Either allow the eyes to close and turn completely inward for your centering, or adopt a soft gaze and find something that's out in the landscape behind me, and allow that to be your drishti. Allow that to be your single point of focus. And then we allow the breath to become our guide. Initially, just noticing what the breath feels like as you show up on the mat, without judgment or any need to really control the breath. But approach it with an attitude of wanting to build a relationship with it, knowing that the pattern of our breath is the window into whatever the present state emotions are. So we begin to observe. Following the air as it enters the body on the inhale. And feeling the release on the exhale. Maybe allowing all the muscles of the body to release your day. So we begin with a body scan, allowing the mind and the sensation of feeling to curiously notice what parts of the body have information for you. We begin by relaxing the jaw, allowing the tongue to come to rest in the bed that's created by the floor of the mouth. All the muscles of the face soften to release all expression. So we're neither frowning nor smiling. This is a metaphor for dropping away all of our external and internal masks. We find our pure, authentic self. The shoulders begin to drift away from the ears. And the weight that they carry, all tension, begins to melt. We can visualize that tension as a nice stream of fluid that gently glides down the back, bathing each vertebra and taking with it any tension it finds along the way. Maybe thinking of the phrase, it just rolls off my back. So we hold on to nothing. That stream of water will lead us to this grounding sensation, to all the parts of the body that are connected to the hard surface beneath you. And then the attention moves to the front body. And we begin to feel this upward energy coming deep from the core and aligning the spine, one vertebra on top of the other, gently finding that balance between effort and ease. There's an effort to this upright posture, but allow it to be soft, simply co-balancing the downward energy of the back body. So as the stream of tension is released and flows off the back, the energy of the rising breath aligns the spine. And we find ourselves sitting in a sphere of balanced energies. The back body descends. The front body ascends. And with the physical body at ease, return your attention to your breath. Following the air with the inhalation and noticing the places it travels with ease. And following the breath on the exhalation, letting go of anything that won't serve you during your practice. And with an intention of finding restful breath, we can begin to observe and notice. So that the breath flows in with ease and the breath flows out with ease. We can invite our hands to heart center, maybe allowing that head to gently bow. And we can invite an intention that has already been set, or take this moment to set a new intention. And as it begins to manifest, allow the words to form in a present and positive tense. I am, not I will. Knowing that once the intention is set, it is already so. And we'll open our practice, unite our community, and connect us by sharing the vibration of Om, either listening or joining in. We prepare with a deep inhale. Allowing the hands to be released from the heart. And allowing those legs to find a new space. So maybe whatever you used for your meditation pose, choose a different shape. Maybe bring them straight out in front of you to allow the prana to go from toes to hips, giving it an easy and unobstructed view. And if you haven't already sat up on your roller, I'm going to change positions so that you'll be able to see that better. We'll sit up on that roller. The feet are going to be on the earth and knees bent so that we can use the legs and the bending of the knees to motivate the movement of this nice soft rolling on our first stage, which is the biggest muscle in the body and a contributor to soreness both above and below. So maybe allowing this roller to be on those sits bones that we feel as we come to our mats, and taking a soft roll. So I'm not moving very much. I'm really focusing my attention on that big body of hamstring attachments that together are united on that sits bone. So maybe you're noticing a little sensation. Now the next things that we're going to do, and I'm going to say this as you're softly rolling back and self-treating, we are going to hang from the edge of our roller. And so stay with me and we can see how we will advance and do that together without slipping off the thing. So I want the roller to continue to move upward, away from those sits bones. And if you can see, I'm trying to get right to the edge of this roller without slipping off the front edge, so that I can almost get this sensation where I can feel the roller stretching the tissues as I approach the base of that sacrum. And so you can see I'm hardly contacting it. So I'm doing this stretching of those tissues from the sits bones where we began to the place that you feel that you can almost hang off the edge of that roller. I find it just at the coccyx bone, the base of that sacrum. You may find it in a different place. And just enjoy that stretch. And then maybe let these knees start to move again. Maybe you have to balance yourself with your hands as I did, so that we can roll through those glutes. I'm going to find a place that feels accessible for me to stay balanced. And then I will take both of my legs, bend them as if I'm coming into a twist. I'm bending my knees to the left and using my left hand so I can face the camera. And I want to get to the edge of this roll. This is where I want the pressure. So there's a lot of non-contact area that you can't see. But right here, I want the edge of this roll, and sometimes it's more navigable if you have one leg bent and the other one over it. So you choose the position that allows you to take the edge of this roller, and we're focused on all of the attachments that come to the edge, the head of the femur, that greater trochanter, where all of those muscles that rotate our hip outwardly rest. So of course, as you're rolling, we want to be in a place of a, oh yeah, that's the spot, not ow, ow, ow. We can always move beyond that. And remember that if you find an area that is asking you to stay in that place, please honor your practice, not my cueing. I'm going to reposition myself by coming back through center and dropping my right leg down, leaving the left bent, turning, excuse the back to the camera, but now you can see how much additional space of non-contact there is behind me. And I'm allowing this roller, oh, I found a nice little spot right there, to find the areas that are asking me to concentrate the rolling on there. This is a slow exploration of the story of your body. What parts simply enjoy the rolling, and what parts give you the information that say, yeah, this is a place that we should notice, pay attention to, and take a moment of focused rolling attention. And then come back to center whenever you're ready. I'm going to place both of my hands flat on my mat. And I'm going to continue my journey right up to the sacrum. So I'm still on all those attachments of the gluteus medius, but now I can feel the roller coming all the way up to the crest of my hips. And the place that's contacting the most is the tissues that rest on the outside of that sacrum, the base of the spine. And without letting my roller become part of the lake, I'm going to make a transition to my forearms so that I can allow my roller to go beyond the glutes, beyond that crest of the hips, and into the low back. Now, this orange ball in the previous video, or maybe at the beginner trailer of this video, is a perfect extra prop to help support your mid-back while you're rolling your low back. So it just makes it easier to hold the body up if your shoulders or wrists are at all tender. You could also just place your hands behind your head as if you were about to do a sit-up, and allow this roller to be moved whatever length you decide based on how much you move these knees and push into the soles of the feet to motivate the length you have in this stage of rolling. There's always the opportunity to stop and readjust if you're at the edge of your movement. So we do a couple of rolls on that low back, and I'm going to place my sacrum back on the mat. I'm going to move the roller. I want to be able to feel this roller just at the lower tips of my shoulder blades is the bottom edge of the roller, and my shoulder blades are then resting completely supported on the roller. So I'm hoping that you can see that position, and I've asked the focus point to be my wings, the scapulae that rest on the back. So as I come down, I can feel a little bit of tenderness at the bottom point of the scapula, and I bring it up. Again, my knees and feet are doing most of the work. I can take my arms out or bring them here so that it's easier for you to see. And I've chosen to put the orange ball under my head so that, one, I don't have to hold it up, but two, I can keep my arms out of your way so that you can see positioning and what I'm doing. So we're going to take a little restorative moment here. So notice how my arms made it to the top edge of the roller. So this gentle upper back bend. Lots of options here depending on your back bend practice and the wellness of your spine. You can just allow yourself to really feel this heart opener and notice palms to the sky, arms outstretched if this is available for your practice. If there's any place here that asks you to have a look at it, to listen to its story. Maybe you just enjoy the opening of this heart space. For instance, if you were doing something that was very much in front of you on your computer all day, driving, etc., sometimes just the opening of the heart space is a great relief. And with the roller placed here, and I will invite you to have a support for your head. If you don't happen to have this orange ball, a pillow that's laying around your home, maybe 2 or 3 stacked pillows so that your head feels like it's supported, you can get creative with which props you use for support. And then I'm going to ask my body to go through some ranges of motion. I'm going to take my left hand, which is closest to the camera, and take an inhale and bring that arm slowly, slower than you think you want to move. I'm going to take it so the fingertips are up toward the sky, and then I'm going to bring them across to the right side of my body. I'll do that arc in reverse. As I inhale from bringing my left hand off to the right side, allow it to come back to the sky and slowly lower it down. Always honoring your body. Remember, if anything is painful, it's your body asking you to make a different option, to choose something different. Let's move to the right hand now. Inhale and bring that arm up to the sky, right hand, fingertips reaching for the sky or ceiling above you, and allow that right hand to transition over to the left, as far as it wants to go. With the next inhale, we'll bring the fingertips up to the sky, across the front of the body, and lower them down so nice and gently and slowly. You can always bend that arm if you find that your shoulder is not ready or prepared for this specific movement. The alteration, I'm going to do that on the left arm, closer to the camera. If you're not needing an adaptation, you'll just go right through your movement. With the inhale, the left hand will come to the sky. If you want to adapt, maybe you bend the elbow and put less pressure, right? So you can see that movement. If you've chosen to have the left arm outstretched, let it continue its journey over to the right, wherever that may land. Inhale and bring it up to the sky. And this is the juicy part. Exhale and lower that arm down nice and gently. Soon as the back of the left hand contacts the earth beneath you, inhale and allow the right hand to begin its movement toward the sky and over to the left side of the body. Inhale those fingers back up in front of your eyes. You'll see them reaching above. Exhale and slowly allow them to return to the earth. And then bring both hands in. Maybe cross them over your chest with one palm on each shoulder, just to find this nice little counter move of bringing those shoulder blades away from the spine. I'm going to reach to the back of my head, pick up that orange ball, move it out of my way, and gently roll over onto my left side. Roller is still in the same position that I had it placed. So I'm rolling off the props. And then I'm going to adjust my roller so that I can feel it on the outside border of my scapula. So in the same way we work the IT band where we really want to get on the side, I'm looking for my roller to be right here. Not in my underarm, but in that back space. And then my bottom leg is outstretched. The top leg takes the position of movement. Orange balls are always ready if you need additional support. And these are small, gentle movements, right? You just roll down that side. Just the tiniest bit. Oh yeah. So I've changed my position so I'm half turned because this is the place that's really talking to me right now. We are very focused on all the muscles of the shoulder. And as this roller is on this outside part of the scapula, we find some of the tendons of the rotators of the shoulder itself. We also have options when you want to come into this more specific rolling of a variety of different balls that we can talk about in different classes and in different ways. We're going to do the same thing by flipping over to the other side. Again, excuse my back, but it does give you a completely different view of where to place that roller. So see, I've got this edge coming close so I can feel it on the outside of my shoulder. And then we roll a little bit of the ribs. So we've got serratus anterior coming out there. And all of those rotator muscles. And sometimes, if this is the shoulder that's tender for you as it is appearing to be for me, we can find just as much relief and release by allowing the pressure of the roller to sink into those tissues. And when you're ready, we're going to come to our stomachs for just a second. So move that roller off to the side. Really what I want to do is just flip over and give ourselves a moment in child's pose. After those back bends and rolling out the shoulders, we do just want a moment of counter rest to allow the back body its restorative time. You can take those hands, allowing the torso to remain in contact with the upper thighs, and place the forearms flat on the mat, fingers spread wide, almost as if you were coming to down dog. But we're checking to make sure that the shoulder and the elbow are in alignment. And in doing so, even though the torso is still connected to the top of the thighs, the head comes off the earth and the back rests in a neutral spine, protecting all of its curves. So we respectfully notice that we've done a back bend and a forward fold and a neutral position to counterbalance our rolling. And when you're ready, you'll walk your hands up so that we're sitting up into hero's pose. We are going to come back again. Those were the warm-ups for around the shoulders and some concentrated work. We will do future classes that are all ball related so that you can really get into some of the specifics. And they're easier to navigate oftentimes to use the balls versus a big roller to get into those little crevices. But while we're here, and since we're just coming out of child's pose, I'm coming up into a little yoga squat, taking my roller, placing it underneath my ankles, and I begin with just stretching out that anterior tissue of the ankles. So allowing this weight of my body to stretch out the fronts of the ankles. And then again, the hands will return to the mat so that we can check behind you and make sure you have space and you won't wind up in the lake. And roll. I am going to move just a tiny bit further forward. There we go. All right. And then we're going to come up and we're going to roll the anterior part of those lower legs. It's always a surprise for me that these areas are tender. So notice I'm in tabletop position, which is why we set up our arms. I'm in tabletop position. Fingers are spread wide. I'm in flat back. And in order to create this movement, all I'm going to do is draw my knees closer. So I come down closer to a child's pose. And then push them away. Right? So we draw close on an exhale. Push them away on an inhale. And this very much resembles doing a modified plank pose, right? And in such, you would want to be in connection with that core. So that as you're supporting your body through this self-care practice, you're not hurting it simultaneously. Next time you find yourself in the start position, remove that roller. Maybe check behind you so that your feet are in position at the end of your mat. Put the roller at your knees. Maybe you're bringing your orange ball with you as a torso support. We'll come down onto our roller. The reason I like this ball to be so squishy is because I often use it on the organs. And I don't really want to use something that has any sort of thick density to it while it's supporting my organs. So I'm going to do a little crawl so that my roller is at my knees. And then lots of different ways. If you have exquisite tenderness, keep those toes on the ground and navigate back from knee to hip crease. If you want a little bit more pressure, take those feet off of the mat and let the whole weight of the legs gently roll from knee to hip crease. As you're doing so, you may find something in there that has a little bit of information that's saying this would be a good place for you to wait and focus the rolling on an area of specific tension. So each one of us is going to have a different place that we decide is the place of our restful focus. It's the place of that we are looking in the roll and release. We're looking for the places that need releasing. And they usually speak to us by feeling a little tender. Maybe the tissue just feels a little bit more firm or dense. And if you find a place in your quadriceps, most people do, if it is on a pain scale if you're looking at a pain scale of 1 to 10, if it's at a 5 or 6, that's oh yeah, that's the spot. not an 8 or a 9. But if you can find an area that is in that 5-6 place, stop your roller there. Take an inhale. Exhale, check in with that lower core to make sure you don't have a dip too much there in your back, or even move your ball down just a little bit to give you that additional support if you need it. Take an inhale. We're going to start with the right foot. Take an inhale and bring that right sole to the sky. Just let it rest here. Maybe rock that heel from side to side. So we go from rolling with the direction of the fibers to rolling across the direction of those fibers. And in this, we're moving the limb, not the roller. So rock it back and forth. Maybe you find a place that talks to you, and instead of making the full arc of movement, you take smaller movements in very specific places. Make sure you keep breathing. And if you notice a place of tenderness, pause there and notice when you contact that spot, is there any other place in your body that's talking to you? What is involved in this pattern of tenderness? Check in with your shoulders. Sometimes I find that I'm hunching and I've lost my form. So align the bones for support. And the next time you find that right foot up towards the sky, take a nice deep inhale. And with a slow exhale that matches the movement, begin to lower that right foot back to your mat. You might even notice that at parts it goes smoothly, and at other parts it almost ratchets. It moves in little jerky movements. So let's try that one more time. Inhale and bring that right foot to the sky. And with a slow exhale, allow that right toe to make its descent towards your mat, trying to smooth out that movement as best you can. When that toe connects with the mat, we're going to move to the left side. Taking an inhale and bringing that left foot up to the sky, rocking the heel as if you're erasing something on the ceiling above, just letting that foot move from side to side, so we're going across the grain of the muscle. Noticing the places that ask for your attention. You can always glide to a different position if you don't find one. This movement can be in the belly of the muscle, it can be closer to the knee in the tendon, or it can be far up, very close to the hip crease. Rock it back and forth a couple of times, noticing what you notice. Also notice if you find a place that's tender, remember we're staying at that 5-6, oh yeah, that's the spot depth. But you may notice as you make these gentle movements that sensation starts to decrease. Whenever you think you're ready, again, noticing that you're being supported by your position, right? Bones are aligned, elbow under the shoulder, eyes are looking directly in front of you between those hands where the fingers are on the mat, the palms are down, fingers are outstretched. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, begin to lower that left leg toward the mat. See if you can do it in nice, smooth movements. We've got these muscles pinned with this roller, so it's a challenging movement. Take an inhale and bring that foot back up to the sky. And as you exhale, and when we exhale, we get re-engaged with that core, right? We want to protect that low back. So exhale slowly and let the movements match the breath. And then roll, so that roller, once your legs are down, the roller is going to come right into, stay there, that crease. And I'm going to put my knees on the earth, come back to a tabletop position, and take my roller, bring it out to the side. We're going to do the inside of the thigh. So, frog leg position. I'm laying on the earth with my whole left side. My roller is at an oblique angle. My knee is resting on its edge. And it's almost like I'm going to do a twist. Taking an inhale. And as you exhale, just roll out onto that roller until it comes right up into that hip crease. This right away is telling me I'd like to see more of this. Whew, I can feel that one. And then bring it right on back. Right? One more time. So the body is helping with this movement. We bring our weight around, which allows us to decide how much pressure we're going to put onto our roller based on how much support we use with those arms on the body. We'll do that one more time. The third roll in. And these are all the adductor muscles. And one roll out. I'm going to flip to the other side just for better visuals, but you stay where you are. You can bring that roller now into the next position. Roller is at an angle. Knee is restful. I'm up on my side body, which gives me lots of space to roll into it, taking an inhale. And as I exhale, roll into that inner thigh and back again. We'll do that 3 times, rolling in at a pace that feels comfortable for you, honoring any of the areas that may communicate pain by saying, then this is someplace I'm going to back off to, or come up higher on the body. So if I stay up here, then I don't have as much pressure that's transferred onto my roller. When you've completed your 3 rounds for the inner thigh, just move that roller off to the side and come to, again, one more time to give the body a moment of restorative rest. We can come to our stomach, woo, and just lay down for a minute and take a breath. When you're ready, we'll move over onto our backs one more time, taking with us our rollers. So we come to our seated position. Allow yourself to be kind, whatever you need to do to come down to this roller again, holding onto the back of the legs if that feels right. I'm coming down in search of my roller, and I'm going to let my hands help. I'm going to place this roller, oh yes, at the base of my skull. So you may want to feel with your hands a little bit to make sure that it's not in the neck itself, but it's resting on the attachment. So if you place your hand behind your neck, you'll feel that there's the space that the roller is not contacting. And then feel for the hard surface of that occiput and place the roller there. The very first thing we're doing is you might feel a stretch in the back of that neck. Notice that my chin has dipped down a little bit. In the same way, We were hanging off the roller while we were sitting on it. Now we're letting that traction open up those muscles that become short when we sit in front of computers or drive. The suboccipital muscles that sit at the base of the skull, we're giving them a nice little stretch. And to continue with the rolling, again, we're going to use the body to roll against the roller. So the body is the moving part, the roller is the static part. Taking an inhale, and as you exhale, just rotate your head to your left so the eyes will go towards the left shoulder. And we're going to massage all of those attachments that rest on the back of the occiput. You can inhale back to center and exhale, turning the head to the right, choosing your own pace. Remember that the roller, as it contacts the tissue, it pushes into those tissues, squeezes out all of the fluid, and as we move to the next resting point and we release that compression, those tissues rehydrate. You might find a spot that is particularly sensationful or a spot that really speaks to you. And then you can make little circles in that area, shorten your rolling, or if you don't, continue to go back and forth, left to right. Those shoulder blades should feel the earth beneath them, right? So they're not lifted. The traction is in the back of the neck. The shoulder blades rest on the earth. And the next movement of the body is going to be a yes nod. So taking an inhale and lifting the chin as if you're going to try and look behind your body. You look at the sky and beyond. And with the exhale, dip that chin. Let the eyes come back down as if they're trying to find your knees in the front of your legs if your knees are bent like mine are. And just continue with your breath, going through this yes nod. We inhale when we look behind us, creating space in the throat. And we exhale as the chin comes back to the heart space. And we close off that front lock. And then when you feel ready, we're going to reach behind us, get those nice soft rollers, take it out from behind the head, give ourselves a little push-up so that we can come back to a seated position. And I'm going to place this roller right along my sacrum. So it's going to sit right up at my body. You might want to have a ball in case you are tall, long torsoed like I am, and your body's going to be too long for your roller. And you're going to come up so that the roller is the length of your spine. And the ball is going to be placed under your head as if you're coming to a gentle back bend or fish pose, right? But instead of letting the head hang completely, let's give it a nice support and then bring those arms out to the side. In my body type, I can feel the edge of the roller on the inside edge of each of my scapulae, the shoulder blades. And I'm just going to use this as yet one more heart opener. Maybe your hands would feel better supporting your head or holding on to the pillow. So if you bring both arms instead of in T position, but you bring them back behind your head to either clasp behind your head or just hold the edges of that ball, you'll notice a different engagement of the roller. I even have the slightest ability to rock from side to side a little bit. But if you're going to do that, allow the feet to be just a little bit wider so you don't roll off the roller in this effort to have a small engagement of the tissues around the spine. Heel toe those feet back together if you took that wide stance. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, engage that lower core as if you were going to do a sit-up, and either sit up off of that roller, or if your core doesn't feel like doing that much work, just roll off onto one side. And at this moment, we're going to find our counter pose, which is going to be Shavasana. So if you have a blanket nearby or you want to find a pillow to rest under your head, the roller might be a little bit too high at this point for just a pure restful position, but it's your choice. Maybe like you have two different size balls and one of them is the perfect headrest, or you'll choose to take a traditional Shavasana. But now that we're all reclined, just bring those knees up into the heart one more time, just for this gentle counter move to that back bend. And you have this option again to roll from side to side. Maybe taking the hands and placing them on the knees and letting these knees even have some space as if you were doing a wide-legged child's pose. And slowly roll off to one side. Feel what it feels like to massage or roll the back body against your mat. I really love these exploratory slow movements that build awareness. And when you're ready, the right foot will find the mat, the left foot will find the mat. You can outstretch them so that we have these couple of moments to enjoy our Shavasana pose. So coming to your mat, choosing your comfortable place, allowing the eyes to close. Releasing the need to follow your breath. Just return that to its automatic system. Allow the body to breathe you. Allow the mind to settle. As this is a pose of being, we're no longer doing. You can drift off, and I will call you back shortly. it's time to come back. Allow the breath to deepen and feel the expansion, noticing if there's any differences in that breath from when you observed it at the beginning of our grounding practice, our centering practice. So deepen the breath and allow the ribs and the lungs to expand. And as you exhale, if there's anything left that no longer serves you, that you're willing to let go of, let it leave on the next exhale. Begin those gentle movements, now rocking that head from side to side one more time, this time without the roller. So notice what it feels like as you massage the back of the head against your mat, slowly rocking from side to side, and making the choice to either bring those arms up overhead and stretch out through those feet, this big, long, yawning stretch, or bring the knees up into the heart and once again rock from side to side, allowing the mat to be the tool that awakens the back body. And the next time you find yourself close to one of your sides, roll over, release Shavasana, come to your fetal pose. And then outstretch that top leg and allow the hands to assist you as you make your way back to the place where we began. We come to this full circle. Back to your meditation seat. And while we practiced, we brought a huge yin element in with us as the sun continued to set and create shadows along the lake. This reminder that in our busy lifestyles, in this yang movement, the healing power of embracing yin, to sit in stillness and quiet, to look in the shadows of reflection. Invite those hands to heart center and that intention back into your thoughts. We'll close our practice the way we began, either listening or joining the vibration of Om, taking a deep inhale. May all thoughts be divinely inspired. May all words be authentic and true. May all hearts be touched with love and joy. And may the time that we devote to our practice of compassion bring peace to all beings. Om Shanti. Namaste.